Hi to all of my family. Go back a little bit. I hope you guys are doing great. Happy Tuesday. I hope you guys are doing awesome. Hi, Misty. Hi, Lara. How are you doing? I hope everybody's doing good. It's Tuesday, and I wanted to be transparent with you guys because I am. I'm just transparent with you guys. I don't cap, I don't lie about things. It has been a very difficult past 24 hours for me. And I'm going to talk about why. You guys see what the title is. I want to talk about some issues that happen from time to time with all of us, whether it's that you're suffering from depression. Hey, Bright family, how are you? Welcome. Whether you're dealing with depression, you're coping with loss, you're just suffering with health problems, or you're just going through a lot of stuff. And recently, I've been very, in the past 24 hours, I've just been very weepy, like honestly, just missing a few of my loved ones because when you go through things in your life, and not bad things, like good things, because some good things are happening to me in my life and I'm so grateful for them. I miss being able to pick up the phone and to say how I'm feeling, right? And that's a void that can never be filled. It doesn't matter how many loving and supportive people you have in your life. Grief can only be filled by talking to or seeing the person that you miss and love. But in the meantime, you got to do some healthy things to be able to cope with it. And you guys know that I am real. I don't I don't sugarcoat it. I don't front. You girl, I've been crying. I've been crying since yesterday. And Bright Family says I'm okay so far. Awesome. Glad to hear that. I share things transparently because I think it's important for people to know I'm human. I have my very low days. I have my sad days. I have my days where I feel very discouraged. Um, and I wanted to be transparent with my Gems family on this Tuesday that I'm pretty sad today. Um, I can't lie. And I've done all of the things that usually like brings me up. I've meditated. I've talked to friends. You're just gonna have days where you feel really down and you feel very depressed, very discouraged. And I did this live. Hey, Realist, how are you doing? I did this live to show somebody who feels like I feel. I know that not everybody is an open person to talk about things when they go through it. I, for the most part, if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't share things. But I share for other people to know that it's okay to feel how you feel. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel discouraged. And to deal with depression and coping with loss. It is what it is. It's a part of life, and I'm not doing it to make anybody feel sorry for me. I do see a few people said sorry and things like that, and I do appreciate it. Thank you for your kindness, but really, I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it to show other people that you can feel that way and it's okay to express it. See, I want to break the generational curse. I know people who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s were kind of messed up into never expressing what you're going through, like, just eating the pain, like keeping it inside. Hi, Zorro, how are you doing? Eating the pain. Yeah, I'm good even when you know you're not good. Okay, and that's really not good for us. It's not good for you, And I know for sure it's not good for me. It's not. So I wanted to talk about some of the things that when you're feeling the way that you're feeling, whether it's depression. And depression is much deeper than sadness. It's much deeper than, just be positive and just depression is a diagnosis. It's an issue that you need to seek help. And there is help for those who have depression. If you've been clinically diagnosed with depression, there's some things that you can do. And I say that because for so many years, I suffered with depression for many, many years. I suffered and always feeling like I have to suck it up or I have to keep it inside. And hi, Muhammad, how are you doing? The Bright Family Eats says, for real, I do that a lot. Yes, and we have to stop eating it. When I say eating it, I mean keeping it inside of us, because that is toxic. It's not sustainable, and it will cause you to have some health problems. It will give you some anger issues. You'll start snapping on people that have done nothing to you. And I can only say that because I've done it. You can't always be the perfect person. The person, oh yeah, I'm good. And you're not. It's okay to not be good. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to feel pain and to feel sad and to be discouraged and to struggle sometimes. Struggle to just escape from the heavy burdens that we're carrying. And I always do these live streams in hoping that I can reach out to my community of gems to say, oh, I'm not the only person that gets depression. I said, Marlene gets depression. I get seasonal depression, or I get that grieving depression, like on anniversaries of their passing or special events and stuff. I get really sad because I want them to be there. And it's tough, guys. And I wanted to say to everybody that if you are in that depression, it is something that other people can't understand unless they have truly gone through that. And like I always will say, I advocate for therapy. Therapy has really helped, but therapy is not the full solution. There are times where some have needed medication, and it's nothing wrong. If you need medication to be able to function, to be able to feel like you don't want to go on anymore and you want to take your life, I know that this is a heavy topic, but it is what it is, and I'm going to say it because it's on my heart. If it feels like you can't handle it anymore, you don't feel like being here, you don't need to just keep ignoring that or listening to other people that tell you get over it, because I've been told that get over it. You have a lot to be grateful for. And yes, while that may be true, you may have a lot to be grateful for. You could have a wonderful life, but when you have some emotional, some mental, and some physical things going on, it's hard for you to process that. So I just want you all to know that you're not alone in feeling down and discouraged and feeling depressed, and especially when it comes to loss. Talking about loss is difficult, and I'm trying to maintain my composure because I don't want you guys to feel bad and bad for me or anything like that. But I'm the type of person that I have learned that I am enough, I'm worthy, and I don't need to make myself suffer. So if I have something that is causing me pain, I'm going to release it and let it out. Have been for the past about 24 hours or so. And I wanted to talk to you guys and to say that I know not everybody is a person to cry, but if you feel like crying, then cry. And one of the things that has been helping me with the loss is being around people that actually listen. I don't mean people you talk to, I mean the people that you can fully say what you want to say. Today I didn't feel like getting out of the bed. Today I missed this, and this person, and I had a meltdown, which I did yesterday. I had a meltdown. There are just some things that you go through in your life and you want your mother, or there's some things in your life and you want your father. Some moments in my life I want my brother. But what I know, the reality, you know they're not there, but it doesn't stop you from feeling some type of way, right? And I wanted to say to everybody that is the times where you don't need to hold all that on your own. And I understand that many people are like me. You process it in silence because you don't want everybody to know your business or to clown you and all of those things. But at the same time, everybody needs to be encouraged. Everybody needs a shoulder to lean on. Everybody needs somebody from time to time to just put their arm on your shoulder or give you a hug, you know, and not even to say that it's going to be okay. Sometimes you don't even need people to say anything, but just somebody to be there. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation to anybody who maybe feels that maybe it's not today, maybe later on somebody will click on this video that are having a down day, a depressed day, a day where you feel a heavy sadness for the loss of your loved one. And you'll know that you're not alone. And you'll hear me saying, don't give up. Don't throw in the towel. You know, your life is still worth living. And it's okay to miss people with your whole heart. But you got to say it with your chest. I miss them. I miss them a lot. But what helps me to go on is that you got to have something to look forward to. See, this is where the motivation is going to come in and the inspiration. You can feel sad. You can cry. You can talk about it. But you ultimately have to have some sort of action that gets you up, that gives you something to live for. Even when maybe without them, your life doesn't feel like it's worth living anymore. Because I've known that hollowness, and I carry that every day of my life. But some days, that hollowness is too much to bear. Sometimes it is. But that is when you pour into your gift. That's when you give back to people who need you. And the work that I do, life coaching, mentorship, even conversations like this are so important to me because I want to reach the heads, the hearts, and uplift the spirits of anybody who is feeling nobody cares about me. That's not true. I'm not loved. That is most definitely not true. There's no hope for me. That's most definitely not true. We all need encouragement, right? Hey PMC, how are you doing? Welcome. We all need encouragement. And especially the times where you're feeling really low, it's hard to pick up the phone and call somebody. Hey Nate, how are you doing? It's really hard to pick up the phone and call somebody when sometimes you can't even communicate how you feel. You just know that you're not doing okay. You just know that it's a tough day. And like I've always said all the time, everybody, know how you feel. Mental health matters, okay? And if you're covering something that maybe it's a mental issue, then you need to find a way to get underneath that and ask yourself, why am I thinking this way? Do I feel not supported? And why do I feel not supported? You know? And also at the same time, making sure that you create, you know, I've said this so many times, that you have to curate the life that you want. You have to make it. So if your support system does not exist, you have to stop waiting for relatives or a spouse or a friend or this person or that person to make changes. You got to put in the work and find your support. Find your loved ones. Find the people who are going to lift you up in your mind, body, and spirit. Sometimes it's just an encouraging word like, I was thinking about you. Just say, hey, let's go out. Let's have some fun. Or just somebody who just come just during your times where you just need a hug or you just need some encouragement. And I'm so grateful that I have people in my life. Like yesterday was not good, you guys. Like I was boo-hoo crying my eyes out. And I had a really great friend that stood in the gap for me. Showed up, got in the bed with me, and let me cry my eyes out. Just hugged me and let me cry my eyes out. And sometimes that's what you may need. You need somebody to tell you, I'm here for you, so you can release it. You know, sometimes you may not give yourself the permission to release it, but a good friend, a good loved one, a supportive person will say, you don't got to carry it. You got to have a person who is a safety net that says, come here. It's okay. Let go. And I'm so thankful for her. I'm so thankful for her. Like people just don't know. People just don't know. People think that sometimes that when you cry, you're a punk, you're soft, you're lame, what they call you, you're sus, you're this, you're I forget what's the word that they call it, but it's a sign of weakness when you cry. Listen, it's not. Because a person could pretend to be all tough and all this, and they are literally breaking inside. They are so angry to try to hold up this facade when all you have to do is let it go and release it. And sometimes that's tears. Sometimes it's hitting that the boxing mat, right? Sometimes it's just hitting the mat. Sometimes it's running, and sometimes it's going for a walk. But whatever it is that it is, you got to give yourself in a healthy way to release it. Hey, Leonica, how are you doing? Yes. Nate, thank you so much for dropping links. Lara says, yeah, you cry too. Yes. Rilla says, trust me when I tell you, Lean, you're not alone on that. Yeah. You can't, you can't, I'm just saying, everybody, and I'm not coming for anybody, I'm not making fun of anybody, but this is a safe space for us to have these sort of conversations. And they're conversations that need to be had. And I'm not afraid of the ones, even the ones where I shed tears. I'm not afraid to have those conversations because I know during the time of my very dark moments that I clicked on a live stream just like mine, and somebody was on there talking about the very thing that I needed. Like, stop holding it in. And you're not soft. You're not weak. You're not a loser. You're not sus. You know, you're not all of those, simps. You're not a simp because you cry. No. The strongest people are the ones that allow themselves to let go, that they don't hold on to things for a persona to try to appear, oh, I'm so strong and I'm tough. And I get it, because this world will really bear down on people who are vulnerable. I get it. But you can't let the outside destroy you. If you have been holding on to something, instead of going and wanting to bust somebody in their throat box, or being angry or screaming or doing things that you will regret, how about you go and you take some moments for your mental health and give yourself the permission to heal that, to fix it, to do what you need to, so that you can get back to feeling a little better, maybe a little bit of relief, because it's one of those things in life, dealing with depression, dealing with feelings of worthlessness, dealing with loss. That's an ongoing battle for many people. Ongoing battle. It will never go away. It's just that you just have to just keep applying the tools in order for you to be able to continue on, take another step. Nate says it's okay to let out that raw emotion. Yes. Rilla says only an ignorant person would assume a person shedding tears is weak. Yes. But I've seen it, Rilla. I've seen people, even at a funeral. Even at a funeral, I have seen people laughing at people. Did you see how they were crying? I always say, be careful about what you do. Be careful about how you treat another person, because you never know when you may be in those same shoes in the future. Careful. Yep. Leonica says, I'm doing all right. Hey, Mama Global, how are you doing? Yes, you caught me. PMC says, frailty lies within every soul. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Everybody has those fragile moments, those times where you feel broken and crushed in your spirit. Everybody has those times, because we're human. We're human, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody has things that is heavy weights, going through financial things, because things have gotten very expensive. Bills are out of control, and you're trying to survive and eat and all of those things. Hi, CXX fan, how are you? Welcome. You're trying to survive, right? But at the same time, you got your own stuff going on top of the bills. You got people being irritating over here. You got your own personal issues that you're dealing with. It's hard to balance it all. And I just want you all to know that you are not alone. See, having conversations like this really does matter. I know that these sort of conversations, some people don't like it. They'll run from it because people don't want to face pain. They'd rather hide it, closet it, push those skeletons out, and say, oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Right? Because it got to be tough. And I get that. You know, being an entrepreneur, being, a boss, I know what it's like. You have to be careful of who you show that vulnerable side to, but at the same time, you got to have your times where you allow I have my times where I have my eye drops, I got my tissues, I got my lotion, my face cream, chapstick. I got everything, my kit to help me after I go through things. Those of you who don't know, I take a little bit of, when you get redness on your face, I put a few drops of Visine. It takes the redness, just like it takes redness out of your eyes, it can take redness off of your skin too. I'm just saying, just a little tip from the esthetician. But you have to let it go. You know, you got to let it go. Um, Mama Global says, greetings to all on this beautiful Tuesday. Yes. Yes, amen. Multitasking, but tuning in. Thank you. PMC says, be careful what you laugh at others for, because you could just end up becoming everything you laugh at them for. Hmm. That's what I'm talking about right there, you know? Yeah. So I'm talking about, see, but I've never been a person to run from a hard conversation, even if I gotta be upset, cry, scream, you know, process in my mind, whatever I gotta do. But I'm not a person to run from something that's difficult, okay? But at the end of the day, I know every time when I let myself cry, or I take out my journal and I write about it, or I pick up a phone and I say, it's not a good day. Sometimes and it takes me a while, like, just give, I was like, I need to talk to somebody that I can trust. And I'll be able to, after being choked up for a little while, I'll be able to get those words out. And today is a struggle day. And you got to have people in your life that will stand in the gap for you and raise you up when you're low. And I'm grateful that I got people in my life. They are my prayer warriors. They will speak over my life. They will speak affirmations over me. They will encourage me. They'll hug me, kiss me, do all of those things and say, did you eat yet? Then show up with food. See, I know that I am blessed, but I know that not everybody has those people right there immediately. But like I always said, but you got to curate the life that you want. If you don't have support from relatives or people who are around you, you must make that support system for yourself. Life is too hard out there to not have support. So don't look for it from relatives. If you don't have the support that you need so that you can free fall, and if you need to just scream for 15-20 minutes, if you need to throw some stuff, because I got some friends that will do it with me when I'm upset and I'm having a meltdown and they hear me throwing stuff in my room, they come in there and start throwing stuff with me. Join in on the madness, okay? Sometimes you just need to do what you need to do so that you don't snap, so that you don't leave this earth before you should. I'm just saying, everybody is not Marlene, and be transparent enough to say that. You know, if you keep holding it inside, it's going to affect your health. It's going to affect your mental health. It's going to affect your physical health. It's going to affect your spirit, because nobody deserves to be sad all the time. You don't deserve to be sad. So anybody who feels very sad, very low, you don't deserve to feel that way. But you got to take some steps in order to make yourself feel better. You got to take some steps. Like I said, you got to have some support system, whether it's people of faith or it's your friends, whether it's loved ones. It could be a spouse, but it has to be somebody that doesn't make you feel guilty for having feelings. You know, the ones that are like, oh, what are you crying for? Or are you crying about that again? Why don't you just get over it? You don't need those type of people. I'm talking about your safe people, that if you're crying, they'll say, do you want to talk about it? Because sometimes you want to talk about it and sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just want company. You know, not all the time we're looking for a solution. Sometimes you just need some support. Hey, love baby, how are you doing? Happy Tuesday. Global Empire says, I go through that often. Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that. But at least you're here in a safe space that we can have conversations to be able to say that. Because even sometimes being able to say, I go through depression, I go through sadness. I go through days where I don't want to get out of the bed. And I'm not the only person, but pretending and lying to yourself and saying you're good when you're not. That's why I have said I am taking my time off from this Friday to this Sunday so that I don't snap off. Because I told you guys, I'm not trying to be in county lockup. I'm not. I'm not trying to say something I'll later regret. I'm not trying to have a meltdown in public. I need to do something for me just so I can chill, some peace and quiet. And for me, I'm the person that I get my restoration when I am by the water. So whether it's going to the park or beach or pond or something, and just sitting there and listening to nature. Hi Dulce, how are you? You're welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate every single person. Um, and this was hard. This people think when you are a content creator that it's easy to hit the live button and say what is on your heart. But I'm a person that I speak from my heart. I don't care about what other people think about me, or people think I'm soft, and that people think this, and people can think what they want to think, because I'm no longer a survivor. I'm victorious. And because I'm victorious and I speak that over my life, I allow myself to say what it is. Sometimes I'm down. Sometimes I'm depressed. Sometimes I feel the weight of loss and I miss my loved ones like crazy. Sometimes I'm dealing with some health issues, or is stress, just being overwhelmed as a woman. I go through those things. And it's tough. It's tough when you don't see a lot of people in representation, people who look like me that actually say, sometimes I am not okay mentally. Sometimes I be thinking some crazy stuff. And then I got to remind myself, no. No. We are not going to think that about ourselves, because we're worthy, valuable, and important. And especially when you're feeling down, like when I have those very discouraging days or feeling very depressed, the first thing that you got to do when you're feeling down is you got to bring some light into your room. So turn on the lights, open the curtains, but you got to because if you're feeling low, it already puts you in a dark space. So you got to bring in some light into that room, whether it's turning on the light, opening the window, getting some fresh air, turn on the air conditioner, and then you got to pull yourself together. I know that some people think that it's weird to say, take a shower and take care of yourself, put on some clean clothes, but they've never been through a depression. I know what depression feels like. Those days you don't even get out of bed, you just laying in bed feeling sorry for yourself, and the tears soaking your pillowcase, right? People don't know. If you don't know, you cannot comment on what it feels like. Try walking those shoes and then let's talk, right? So like I said, I'm always here with open arms to say to every single one of you, get your love, get your support, get your encouragement, but don't hold it in. I've always been an advocate to make sure, like, if you're going to work, to make sure that you take some days on your schedule for your mental health. Okay? Take those days. Stop holding that PTO time and wasting them on times where you just don't feel like going to work, to the times where you really can't work because maybe you can't get out of bed, or maybe you've been working too hard and you need some vacation. So sometimes that feeling down is because you have not taken care of yourself. Maybe you're not eating right. Maybe you're not having enough water, fruits, blah, 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 according to whatever your doctor recommends. And sometimes just the stress of life, or having stressful people, having a stressful job. Life ain't easy, y'all. Okay? I'm not going to say, oh, Marlene's life is easy. My life isn't easy either. Even though you guys usually see me, I usually, maybe I would say about 80% of the time, I keep a positive attitude. But I have my 20% where, yeah, my attitude is not positive. And that's when I have to get on my knees. That's when I have to phone a friend, accountability partner, a loved one, and to say, I need some help. I need some support. It's not everybody. I'm not saying that to everybody because everybody doesn't get to know that personal and private space, that intimacy that you have in a relationship, unless they have developed that sort of trust. Okay? Dulce says, I have been fighting depression but feeling hopeful today. Awesome. I'm so glad that the cloud is lifting for you today. And this is the reasons why I do these conversations, because like I say, you never know what somebody is going through. And like I said, I smile a lot of times to keep from crying. So when you guys see me on sometimes and you see me smiling so hard, it's because I'm gritting my teeth, trying to not let a tear fall. Or I'm not trying to, snap. So being positive is not easy, because sometimes you don't want to be positive. You want to be angry, you want to be sad, and it's okay to feel that. But I always say, give yourself a time limit. My therapist helped me with that, because I used to feel bad to let myself feel, because I have things that I'm responsible for. I have adulting to do, but I give myself a time limit. I put on my timer, and I give myself 1 hour to have a meltdown. Hey, Miss Lynn, how are you doing? I put my timer on 1 hour, and I let myself cry. I scream at the top of my lungs. I throw things. I say what I need to say. I miss you today. I feel this and I feel that, and I'm so upset, I'm angry, and I release it and I let it go. And I always feel better, and I can tell you that my cloud always lifts every time I let myself just go there. Let yourself go there. If you feel like you got something you want to say, lock that door and go there. Scream at the top of your lungs. Stop holding that stuff inside. That's toxic. We want to be happy and have peace, and you can't have peace if you got something that's inside of you that you need to either talk about, release it, scream about it, journal about it, give back, do something, get out in nature, take care of yourself in a better way. Whatever it is, do what is necessary so that you can continue on another moment. And I've heard people say, so you can go on for the day. For me, when I'm struggling, it's about dealing with that moment right there and getting through that moment. That's how serious it is for me. Letting yourself feel in the moment that you're in. I'm messed up today. Or I'm sad today. Or I'm going through it. And then say, but it's all right. It's okay to feel this way because I'm human. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel discouraged. And I don't even say to myself, this will pass or it's going to get better, because sometimes it doesn't get better. You just got to learn how to cope with it. When I feel this way, let yourself be sad. Hi, Tracy. Good morning. Welcome. I just let myself feel it. Like when I'm going through it, and I be in bed rolling my eyes so hard, like, I don't want to get out of bed today. Sometimes I'll say that. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to deal with humans today. I'm going to be honest with you all. Even though I am a positive person and I try my best to be good to other people and be supportive and positive, sometimes I don't want to deal with other people. I just want to be by myself. I have my moments like that, and that was one of the moments that I was having yesterday. And it kind of ran over into today, And I let myself have it. But, we have to stop feeling bad or guilty or upset that you have emotions. You're going through something, or you're angry, you're sad. You're not a robot. We're not drones. We have flesh and blood. We have feelings. We go through situations. There's many reasons why you should be sad, upset, and angry when you go through things, especially things that have been traumatic. Yeah, you deserve to feel sad, but you also deserve to not have to carry that on your own. You deserve to not carry it on your own. So make sure you're doing all of the things that you need to do for yourself, letting yourself feel that, but then not staying there. Like I said, therapy taught me to put a time limit on it. And there's nothing wrong with feeling how you feel, but give yourself a time limit. I got an hour, and I'm going to cry, and then do whatever, say, journal, pray, meditate, and then I'm going to get myself up, shower, put myself together, and then go about my day. Thank you so much, PMC. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of your day. So that's one of the things that I do. And a lot of people don't say that, and talking about it, people don't understand how hard it is when you're feeling the weight of pain for you to even want to stand up and get out of bed, even take care of your hair, wash your face, brush your teeth, shower yourself. That's the whole battle. And I have to talk to myself. Oh, thank you so much, Tracy, for joining membership. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But you got to talk to yourself. You have to. You have to talk to yourself and encourage yourself. Like, I know I don't want to get up. I don't feel like putting myself together. But let's just try. First, let's start with a shower. And then we'll move on to brushing our teeth. And then comb your hair if you have hair. If you're, or, do all of the personal maintenance that you need to. And then you got to think about eating something. Because when I go through it, everybody's different. Some people, when they're feeling discouraged, they can't eat. They eat nothing. And other people, they overeat. And you got to know where you fall in, because I've been on both sides. Sometimes when I feel sad, very sad, I'm going to be like, okay, I need ice cream. I need cookies to cope. And I'll be crying. I know I'm not the only one. I know you guys are probably looking at me like I'm crazy, but I'm being transparent. Sometimes I will be crying and say, I need cookies, I need chips, I need ice cream to deal with this. But, it is what it is. Sometimes having those things, it's comforting to us, but there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of those things in moderation. But also, don't just use those things. Also have healthy outlets, like going to the gym, going for a walk, journaling, tapping into your faith, having supportive loved ones that you don't even have to say anything. I have my wonderful friends that will just pop in for a welfare check, and they'll bring me food, and we'll watch movies and laugh and dance. You got to have people that will support you that way. And if you don't have those people, you got to look for them. Like I said, I have support groups that I am a part of. If anybody is interested in some support groups for everything, for support groups for loss, for addiction, for just depression, period. Hey Shay, how are you doing? Welcome. There's support groups for so many of these things. Okay, don't say, I'm going to put, when this live is over, I'm going to put some links to some Facebook groups that I know are really good. I'll put that in the description box. I'm going to find the link one by one and put it in the description box of this video, of this live stream when it's over. So there's all sorts of support groups for depression, for grief, for anything that you can imagine, addiction, for dysfunctional families. There's support groups for everything. Nobody should be out here suffering, not when there is support. Hi, Miss Betty. How are you doing? Nobody should be out here suffering when you don't have to. Why suffer if you can get peace? And I wanted to say to every single one of you that you don't have to suffer alone. You most definitely will suffer if you're trying to get your support from people who don't care. You know, those rugged, what I call them roughnecks. That's what they call it in my culture, in the Jamaican culture. We call them roughnecks. And just like, they don't care. It's like you tell them how you feel. Oh, toughen up. They're like, what you crying for? And I get it that sometimes you got to be in that mode for survival, because you do have to work and you do have things, but you got to have some people that you can be like, oh, I messed up today. And they'd be like, you too, I messed up too. And then you talk about some things, and they share theirs and you share yours, and you laugh, you cry, but you feel supported. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. Whatever it is that you're dealing with today, make sure you have some safe spaces for you to be able to free fall, you know, whether it's with a friend, a loved one, a support group, maybe it's with your faith, and you know, to each his or her own. Maybe it's through meditation. It could be through so many things. Maybe it's in giving back. But for me, my purpose is served when I teach, because I'm just naturally a teacher. I teach, and every time I teach, I coach, I talk to somebody about something, I feel a little more relief. Like when I first started this live, I was very droopy, very blah, and now I feel stronger. I feel more empowered. And the same thing will happen to you when you learn to know yourself. And when you know you're not having a good day, you already know that maybe you need to have a book that you read that will inspire you, maybe some things that you can listen to that will inspire you and nourish your mind, body, and spirit. Having good friends that will say some positive things about you, you know, that you're loved, you're valued, you're important, you have a reason to continue on. We need you. Those are the things that we need to hear from our loved ones, the people that we care about. And sometimes you're not feeling it. I'm not going to lie to any of my GEMS family. Some days I don't feel loved. I don't feel valued. I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel like I matter enough. And I know that that's not true. I know that I'm valued. I know that I'm loved. I know that I'm blessed. I know that. But the weight of life in this world, life be life, and right? And as an adult, you got to carry on and do what you got to do for yourself and your family. But also you got to have your time where you pause and let yourself feel and heal and talk about things. It's important to talk about it with safe people. And I hope that this space on Life with Marlene is a place where you guys feel comfortable to say, you know what, Marlene, I'm not feeling good today. I'm feeling, my mental health is not good. Or I'm feeling very sad. I'm feeling very discouraged today. Today I miss X, Y, and Z, right? Whoever they are. And you need to be able to say that. And don't be afraid to say that. And I'm just I've been going through a lot lately. I know that many of my Gems family have a lot of things going on: physical, mental, emotional, financial, just a lot. And I want you guys to know that you don't have to suffer alone. We can have conversations like this every single Tuesday. I'm going to, even if I'm not going through it, I'm going to open up the conversation, the live stream, and just ask, is everybody well today? Anybody going through something? And if you are, blah blah blah, and we'll talk about it a little bit, and I'm going to give you some encouragement and talk about how important it is to, process your feelings, process what you're going through, and that you don't got to carry. You don't always have to be tough and strong. Even my male Gems family, I know that there's a lot of flack. You guys get clowned and made fun of if you cry or you go through things, but you have feelings, and your feelings are important. Mm-hmm. So don't listen to other people, because those same people who will say, "Oh, you're this and you're a punk, you're this, you're a simp," right? Those are the same people. They're angry and they're crying, but they're crying in private. They don't have enough courage to cry like you in public. Like I said, anywhere I want to cry, I'm going to cry, because I love myself too much to hold things inside. I don't care what anybody got to say. And the same thing for all of you. Hi, SNJ. Life is too short to be unhappy. Life is too short to feel sad, isolated, feel worthless, unloved. And you're none of that. Every single one of my Gems family, and I think I'm almost at 2,000 strong. Every one of you, whether you are new here today or you have been rocking with Life with Marlene for a while, each and every one of you are valid, valuable, worthy. Your life is worth living, but you got to find a reason. You got to find a purpose. You have to find support. You got to let yourself have some downtime, some solo time. And I know sometimes I'm doing the most. I overwhelm myself. I put too much on my plate. I'm supporting so many people. And I got to say to all of you, you also have to learn to support yourself. You got to support your mental health. You got to support yourself spiritually. You got to have something that you do, that you pour into yourself and fill up your own cup. I've always said this, and I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to pound into your head until one day, my Gems, you get it. You are important and valuable. But to keep your value, to keep your importance, to keep your worth, to keep your strength and empowerment, you have to do things for yourself to keep yourself in a safe space, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. You got to do some things. And like I said, I go to my support groups when I need to. I'm on that therapist phone call when I need to. I'm with friends. I'm hanging out. I'm laughing. I'm giving back, spending time with a pet. I'm in nature, going for a hike. I'm going for a jog. Or sometimes I just need to cry. I just get a box of tissues and just melt down and let the tears flow and have a good hard cry. Sometimes it's a good hard cry is what you need. Other times it's a scream because of the pressure and frustration of life. Sometimes you just need somebody to give you a hug, and it's nothing wrong. Ask for what you want. Communicate that, Gems. Sometimes you just need a long hug. I know when I need my hugs. I know when I need someone to just listen to me. I don't want no advice. Sometimes you just want somebody to just say, I'm here. And that's it. Just somebody to show up for me. And that's it. But you got to know what you want. And you got to know what you need. And you have to know that you're important and valuable enough to get support, because I used to suffer all the time pouring into people, being good to other people, and not feeling like I deserve support, because you do, especially when you go through things. It took me so many years to be able to say I need some time for grief, and being in that mode, because I lost so many people back to back. I was just on autopilot. Okay, I gotta work. I gotta do this. And I never had given myself the permission to say, like, Marlene, you just lost 3 people back to back, just about 6 months apart each. It's like, are you good? Like, you'll tell other people, yeah, I'm good, because you have to survive. But really, when you go home and close the door when it's nobody but you, are you really good? Or do you tell yourself that you're good? That's very important. From time to time, you should be asking yourself, in your quiet time, maybe go for a drive or a walk, or just, sit somewhere and chill for a little bit. And then I talk to myself. I will journal, write some things down. I'm going through this, and this. I miss this and this person. I'm really overwhelmed and stressed. Sometimes I'll be writing and saying, I need a vacation. And it's like, done. Do that for yourself. And don't let other people make you feel guilty that you need your own time. We all have to work on having our time, where it's not about a spouse, significant other, your kids, your whoever, anybody in your life. You got to have some time that is just for you to be okay here in your spirit, your soul. And sometimes we're not. So take the time for you, and know that you deserve time to process, okay? I wish that many years ago I wish I had somebody that told me that it was okay for me to have the meltdown and to cry, and to, that I don't have to be the strong one all the time. We can't be strong for everybody all the time. Sometimes being strong for yourself is saying, close that door, shed those tears, or maybe get your sleep. Maybe you're not sleeping enough, because that's another topic. I'm a person who suffers with insomnia because of other things that has happened to me in my life, and it keeps me up. And sometimes I just need to sleep. And then sometimes that's what you need. You need sleep. Other times you just need to cry. Other times you need to journal, or take better care of your health, drink water, eating more nutritious foods. Sometimes you just need some support. You just need to be around people who just say, what do you want to do? Let's hang out. Let's talk. Let's laugh. And then you come back to being like your old self again. But have real relationships. I'm not talking about the fake friends, the fake support, the people who say they love you but they don't prove it. I mean, having real, true people who will check on you and not want anything. They just want to know, are you okay? Are you good? I was thinking of you. I love you. You're important. I was thinking about you. Things like that. That's important. So I hope that this conversation has been nourishing, supportive, healing, positive, spiritually uplifting, empowering. Yeah, everybody, to all of my gems, you, and you in the replay, I give you the permission to heal. I give you the permission to cry, to scream, to journal, to give back, to take a vacation, to sleep, to see a therapist, a counselor, get spiritual support, get out in nature, take a vacation. Give yourself the permission to do what you need to do so that you can handle this thing called life. Thank you, everyone. Life with Marlene, your Florida vlogger, also coach, and um, your Florida vlogger, your all of those things. And very soon I'm going to be doing more conversations out in nature, talking about topics. And I have several ones that I'm going to plan. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do it live or in video form, but you know, conversations like this is what I want to have in talking about things. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to be more transparent over here and talking about things in life that we deal with from day to day. And I'm not hiding from those hard conversations. I'm not hiding from the way that I feel or what other people think I should do and say and think. Okay? And neither did you. Okay? Sending you nothing but positive vibes, peace from my heart to yours. I hope you guys are well. And if you're not, give yourself the permission to take time to process it. You're enough. Take care of you. Thank you, guys. And I will tap back in later on today. I have a premiere at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you can make it. And like I said, I'm going to go and get those links to support groups and put it in the description box. And anybody, you know, if you really are going through, and it's not just sadness, it's okay to seek therapy. I know there's a lot of stigmatism. There's a lot of, you know, judgments, and people will look at you like you're strange, you're weird, you're a freak, because, oh, you're messed up in the head, and laugh at you. But it's okay. Let people talk. It's your life. Don't let anybody tell you how you should live it. If you need help and support, seek it and get it. Especially sometimes if your job, they will give you 2 to 3 therapy visits. It goes with your insurance. Some of you don't know that. And I definitely use my 3 to 4 visits from my insurance every single year. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Take care of yourself. This is Life with Marlene, and you know what I say over here. Love your life and live your life. See you on the next one, guys.